advisory and financial planning services are offered through Simplicity Wealth LLC and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. SEC registration does not constitute nor endorse of the firm, nor does it indicate that the advisor has attained a particular level of skill nor ability. Investing involves risk of loss. Insurance, consulting, and education services offered through Diamond Life Planning is a separate and unaffiliated entity from Simplicity Wealth. This information is provided as a general information and is not intended to be specific financial guidance. Before you make any decisions regarding your personal financial situation, you should consult a financial or tax professional to discuss your individual circumstances and objectives.
Welcome to the Rock My Finances show on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV, where we put the fun in finance. Join Powerhouse Jennifer Joseph, CDFA, CMC, and Private Wealth Advisor, as she collaborates with you to create clarity, control, and confidence with your money, your way. It's not about the zeros, so what is it all about? Let's find out. Now here's your host and weekly friend, Jennifer Joseph.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another wonderful episode. Today we are going to be talking about love, trust, and money. The conversations that no one teaches us how to have. Okay, most of us are taught to balance a checkbook, maybe even pay a bill, and maybe save. And they always say save for retirement. So who cares about retirement when you're 19, 20, 21, 25, 30, 35? Like, we don't think of those things, right? And I remember in high school, they told us how to write a check. No one was teaching us how to actually manage money, or what does that even mean? Nobody talked about compound growth. Nobody talked about saving money for now and for retirement for later in life. Very few of us were even taught how to talk about money, especially with someone that we love. No one taught us how to discuss debt without shame. No one taught us how to discuss spending without judgment, or financial fears without creating some type of conflict. Yet money touches almost every part of our relationship. It influences decisions about where we live, how we travel, when we retire, how we retire, whether we're going to help our children out, how much are we going to help our children, what kind of future are we going to create together. I mean, all the way down to, are we going to shop at Whole Foods or Costco or Walmart or, right, Trader Joe's? Like, do we care about health? Do we care about spending money on organic food? It could be literally as that. Like, what kind of gas do we put in our car every day? If the car says that needs the higher octane, are you going to do that? Or are you going to go for the unleaded, the cheap one? Like, it is in our face every day, like at least 10 to 15 times a day. So today we're going to explore the connection between love, trust, and money. And I'm going to give you simple daily practices that you can start using immediately to strengthen both your finances and strengthen your relationships, because that's what life's all about, right? We're here for our relationships. So part one, money is often a trust issue. When many people think of arguments about dollars, it's not about the zeros, y'all. It's about trust. So when a partner hides spending, the issues are not the purchase, it's the trust. So that's like the biggest mistake people can make, is hide. It's just lends into more issues around trust, and it just gets the big mountain bigger and bigger and bigger. When one partner refuses to talk about money, when they just don't even want to talk about finances, it isn't about the budget, it's about trust. They don't trust their partner is going to be safe to have a conversation with them. When one partner feels left out of financial decisions, the issue isn't the investment account, it's actually trust. Trust is created when people feel safe. So we all need to be able to feel safe to ask questions. Here's one. We actually need to feel safe to make mistakes, y'all. Like, we're going to make mistakes. We've all made mistakes. I've been in the industry for decades. I've been a business owner for 30-something years. I still make mistakes. It's just going to happen. We need to feel safe to be honest, and be honest about how we feel, honest about our past mistakes, honest about what we really want going forward. I'm an #1 codependency in recovery for decades, right? But to be able to share what I really, really want and where I really see my future, that could be embarrassing to share that with someone or a new partner. So with money, without trust comes battles. It comes like contentious conversations. And guess what? It spills out in all areas of our life. Yes, it spills out in our sex life with our partners, spills out in our parenting relationships with our kids. Even for me, it spills out on the 800 number that just they call me and try to, sell something. And I'm just mean to them. And I'm like, I don't mean to be mean to you, but I'm doing this right now or whatever. It comes in all different shapes and sizes. So daily practice number 1, ask yourself every morning, what can I do today to build trust instead of fear? Now, if you live alone, I'm talking to myself, right? Well, the first thing I can do is make my bed. If I say I'm going to go to the exercise class, go to the exercise class. I have my protocol. I have my collagen and my protein shake after my exercise class. I tell myself, I trust myself to make the right decisions instead of fear. Fear creeps in when we don't do what we say we're going to do or respect ourselves, right? So now when we're in a couple, we want to make sure that we share information openly. So you can ask yourself, can I share information openly with my partner today? Tell the truth, even though it's very uncomfortable. Tell the truth. Include your partner in making decisions. Like, hey, what do you think about this? This is what I think. Without criticism, without judgment, just, hey, what do you think? Maybe even have a couple conversations around something so that it's not just, I don't know about you, but I changed my mind, right? I'm like, okay, with that education, that what I know at that point, this is what I would do. But the more I know, I might change my mind and have a different feeling about it. So let's include our partner in these decisions and ask questions instead of making assumptions. We take information in and we assume we think we know what they're feeling or thinking, but we really don't. So we want to ask clarifying questions. So what I'm hearing you say is, right? Small acts of transparency create enormous trust over time. And we want to just keep dropping pebbles in the trust bucket so that when the stuff does hit the fan and you have to talk about money, you can, and you have that relationship that you can. Okay, part 2, everyone has financial fears. Doesn't matter. Not about the zeros. Everyone has a relationship with money and an emotional relationship with money, and we all have financial fears. Even very highly successful people have money fears. Some fear running out of money. Some fear losing their freedom. Some fear having too much money, like it's going to change their life too much. Some fear becoming dependent on someone else. Some fear repeating mistakes from the past. Many relationship conflicts begin because one person's fear triggers another person's fear. So when they do this, then that triggers their fear. So one partner might want to save more and the other one wants to enjoy life more. Neither is wrong. Neither is wrong. We just have to talk about why we're feeling the way we're feeling and doing what we're doing. So simply responding differently to fears is all the lack of communication is. The healthiest relationships create space for both perspectives. Because what an amazing life you could have, right? If you respect your money, it's flowing in, your abundance is coming in, and you're not just hanging on to it and saving it for anything, but you actually are making memories with life and enjoying life and traveling and seeing your friends and family and creating memories, along with being respectful of money and knowing what's happening, right? We can do both. So here's your daily practice. When financial stress appears, pause, ask yourself, what am I actually afraid of right now? Write it down, get your money journal out, write it down. What am I actually afraid of right now? Not, what's my partner doing wrong? Why'd they do that? And if they would have done this, it should have, would have, could have, right? No. Instead, we want to say, what fear is being triggered in myself right now? When my partner does this, what fear is being triggered with myself? That's something we can change as ourselves, right? Is this fear based on facts or something that I'm absolutely assuming? Like, well, if they just spent that means they're going to do this every week and we can't afford that every week. That's an assumption that I might be making. So is fear based on facts or assumptions? And what would help me feel safer? It might be, hey, this is making me feel very anxious when you go out and willy-nilly spend Costco. We all spend more at Costco, right? So that conversation might look like, let's, when we plan on going somewhere, let's have some type of a spending budget. I don't like the word budget because it restricts, but let's have a spending plan for Costco. And then we give ourselves a ceiling, and that we promise each other that we're not going to spend over that amount. And if we do, there needs to be a conversation, something like that. Just awareness reduces emotional reactions. It's awesome. Okay, part 3, communication creates connection. Don't we all want more connection? When people listen to respond, you're not really hearing. So we want to listen to understand. When discussing money, people often prepare their defense before the other person's even done speaking. This creates distance, creates anger, frustration. Healthy communication begins with curiosity. Imagine replacing that's a terrible idea with help me understand your thinking. Imagine replacing with you always overspend with what feels important to you about that purchase. Curiosity lowers defenses, right? Judgment raises them. So here's your daily practice. 1 each day. Ask someone that you love, or ask yourself, tell me more about that. You could do that around any issue whatsoever. And then listening to understand, not to judge. Now, let me spit this out there. You're never going to be able to understand me 100%. You haven't lived in my shoes. You haven't lived in my life. God bless you, but you haven't, and I haven't in yours. So I don't have to agree with you to understand you. And I don't have to know everything about that to understand that that's how you feel, period. Like, that's just the way it is. You don't need to agree with everything to understand everything. Like, I just don't understand that, so it's wrong. A lot of people do that. We want to not do that. We want to just listen. We do not want to give advice. We do not want to correct. That is so aggravating when you're trying to share from your heart. I mean, it starts simple, like when you're just sharing a story that you both were at, and then one spouse is always correcting the other spouse. Okay, that's literally criticism and a put down. It doesn't matter if you're right. If it was black instead of blue, who cares? This person is telling a story. That's where it starts. So let's not do it there on the basic story, and let's not correct someone. Take a breath. Look at yourself. Yes, you might see it differently. It doesn't matter. They're telling a story. Show them that you value their words, that you value their thinking of things by understanding them. We're not fixing or correcting. We're just listening. Listening is the highest form of respect. And when we can't even listen to someone or even their silly little story, we're literally telling them that we don't respect them and we don't value them. Like, it is like a dagger to the heart when we're interrupted and when we're corrected. So that's how I feel. Just so you all know, someone in your life feels the same way. Okay, part 4, financial honesty creates intimacy. Don't we want to, into me see, right? I want you to see me. That's why we're in relationships, is so that we can have an intimate relationship. And we want emotional intimate, spiritual intimacy. We want to, have the whole gamut. So many couples share a bed, a home, and a life. Yet their financial worlds, they hide, and they hide their fears. Why? Because they're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of disappointing someone, appearing irresponsible. Secrecy creates distance. We don't want that distance. The worst thing you could do is having ships passing in the night, not even knowing each other and not even talking about money, because next comes divorce, right? Comes no sex, no talking, then divorce. So we want to have honesty because that creates intimacy. You don't build trust by being perfect. God bless us all. There's no way. We do not need to be perfect. We just need to be truthful. And if your partner doesn't react right, that's your job to heal yourself. That's not their job to heal you. It's our job to heal ourselves and then come back and say, last time I would appreciate you. Last time when this happened, I'd appreciate you answering me this way because that hurt my feelings. Like, we have to own our responsibility, but we got to heal ourselves because they might not be able to do what we need them to do because they're being triggered, right? So here's our daily practice. Each evening, ask yourself, is there anything I'm avoid discussing with my partner? If the answer is yes, write it down. You don't need to solve it immediately. You might need to hash it around a little bit, but just simply acknowledge it. Like, there is a secret Secrets create shame. So we want to see if there's anything that we're hiding. I do this with my girlfriends. I have a soul sister group, and I want them to know like almost everything about me, right? And so there's sometimes when I'm ashamed of something, or if I'm finding something like, oh, wow, I haven't said that to anybody because that's embarrassing, or I could be wrong, or I'm not perfect. I will say the words to them and say, I don't need any feedback from this because I just need to say it out loud. Because sometimes we just don't say things out loud, and it feels so good when we do. So awareness is the first step to honest conversation. Okay, part 5. Gratitude changes money conversations immediately. So a lot of couples focus on what's wrong and what happened in the past. Not enough income, savings, progress. The problem, the attention goes on what we're focusing on. So I'm a big believer in law of attraction, so I don't want to focus on all of that. So when you focus on lack, you're going to get lack. When you focus on appreciation, guess what? You're going to get more appreciation. So gratitude changes the emotional tone of money conversations. Here's your daily practice. Every day, share one financial appreciation. Examples. Thank you so much for working so hard today. Thank you so much for paying attention to the small details. Thank you for supporting our family. Thank you for keeping your business running and always trying to come up with new ideas and new marketing ideas to get more people to come into your business. Thank you so much for driving and commuting to get to work and to come back. Thank you so much for helping us save money by prep cooking on Sundays and taking your lunch to work. Thank you for being responsible and investing our money and talking with the financial advisor and the financial planner and the insurance guy and the tax guy. Thank you. I mean, there's so many ways that we can say, I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Small acknowledgments strengthen relationships. Part 6, create a shared vision. I have all my clients have a mission for their household. If you have kids, bring the kids in on the conversation. Each family needs a mission. So we're going to create a shared financial vision. Money works best when it serves a purpose. Like I was just saying this to a client the other day. When we want to save, we save for retirement. Who cares, right? However, if I save for scaling down that house and having my gourmet kitchen for the rest of my life that I can cook in my 60s, 70s, and 80s when I feel like cooking, that's different than saving money for retirement, right? Saving money to travel the world a month at a time, I can save money for that. And instead of saving for retirement, I'm actually saving for staying in Italy for 3 months when I retire. Like, how fun is that going to be? That's very different than saving for retirement, right? Especially a lot of business owners, we're not going to retire. We might scale back and have more fun and have more free time. But, retirement really just doesn't make sense, right? So we want to not just focus on the numbers. The healthiest couples focus on more than the numbers. They focus on what the numbers make possible. So the zeros make life possible. We want to look at experiences, the feeling of freedom, the feeling of security, traveling, giving. Giving is very important to me. What causes do I want to make a difference in? So I also handle life insurance, right? So I have clients that come to me and they want to do charitable giving. Well, instead of doing a small donation each week, we do a life insurance policy. So they will be sending millions to their charity when they pass. So it's not just about the small things, but you can literally change your charitable organization's lives if you do more giving planning, I call it. We want to talk more about our family. Are we going to be those grandparents that are around all the time for the games and the gymnastics and the plays at school and all of that? Well, what will that take to do that? Do we live by all the grandkids? I have a friend here that has what does she have? Like so many different households, 5 or 6 different households around the country that she flies and goes and sees all the grandkids. And that's important to her. So is that important to you? And what does when you're finally financially free, instead of retirement, but you're financially free, what does your life look like? Like, let's talk about that. We can always talk about the zeros, but we also want to dream. I always start my clients off with that. I start them off with dreaming, then creating their goals. Then we look at where they're at now. And then what do we have to do to get them to their dreams? And our dreams change as well, right? So when people solely focus on zeros, the motivation disappears, and then they're going to start spending again and secrecy again and not really planning. So we want to focus on our vision and what money means to you. How does it feel? So here's our daily practice. Spend 5 minutes a day. I always have my clients do it before they get out of bed. Like as soon as you open your eyes, close them back again, because that's our dream-like state as close as we can get. And ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like? When I'm creating a financial plan for someone, I say, what do I want my year to look like? 1 year from now, when I wake up, what do I want it to look like? Who am I going to be when I walk into the room? What is my lifestyle going to be? Right? Then 5 years, then 10 years, and then in the future. What do I want our relationship to look like? What do I want it to feel like? These are great, yummy questions, right? What does financial freedom mean to me? What does that mean to me? How am I going to feel? How's my body going to feel when I'm financially free? And what experiences matter the most? We might need to prioritize them, right? So what's the most important thing? So for me, I really do, they talk about bucket list, but I really do want to go do an Airbnb in Italy and be there for at least a month, if not more, and just hang out and cook there with the fresh food there and the pasta and vegetables and have people come and go, get an Airbnb with a couple bedrooms so people could come spend a week. Like, I love that. Vision creates direction. So we need to have a vision. We can't have a really cool vision if we're still scared to death. So we have to get around our fear, calm our fear, heal ourselves in order to create our vision. Okay, number 7, last one. Love is not a financial plan, y'all. And I am a financial planner. Love is beautiful. It's powerful. It's important. It's one of the hardest truths. But love alone does not solve financial problems. Healthy relationships need love for sure, and trust, and communication, and honesty, and planning for the future. They all matter. The goal isn't perfect finances. The goal is creating a relationship with both people feel heard, respected, informed, and valued and supported. So here's your last daily practice. Am I creating partnership with creating, or am I creating pressure? Am I creating a strong relationship? Am I building this one conversation at a time? Your last closing exercise, the 7-day love, trust, and money challenge. For the next 7 days, day 1, share a financial goal. Day 2, share one fear. Day 3, express a financial appreciation. Day 4, share your money story with your partner. Day 5, discuss a future dream. Day 6, review one area of financial progress. And day 7, celebrate all the things you're doing right. Okay, quick. Day 1, share a financial goal. Day 2, financial fear. Day 3, financial appreciation. Day 4, your money story with your partner. Day 5, a future dream. Day 6, your financial progress. And day 7, celebrate, y'all. I want you to enjoy this. I want you to have a good time with this week. And then after day 7, when you celebrate, I want you all to be able to say, I rock my finances.
We appreciate you joining us today, and don't forget to subscribe to the Rock My Finances YouTube channel for more engagement and bonus content. Tell me, what is your money story? Let's find out with Jennifer right here on K4HD Radio and Talk 4 TV. It's not about the zero, it's about the F word, feelings. Feelings Jennifer can't wait to explore with you next week. Until then, let's all say, I rock my finances.